Oh, and I can just like relax.
Now I can scoot in here
Hey,
and give you a little bit, you know.
hey.
Hey, yo.
All right. Welcome back to the Crossroads podcast number 6. I'm Austin.
My name's Michael. My name is Jack. And I'm Jacob.
This is our friend Jacob from work that we know, and we got him on here to talk about some fun things. So, I guess
Mainly high school experiences.
high school talk.
Yeah.
True. Now, I mean, what? Okay, before we get into the actual topic of the episode, this is a very random thing people do. People don't do like podcast episodes on just high school and specifically things we're talking about. So what was the drive for us to do a podcast on this topic?
All me.
He came up with it. He came up with the main
I
question.
came up with the main question and went up to Jack and said, you know what? This would be a fire podcast idea. You should, like, include me on it.
I do like it. I like the idea.
I know.
It's just I haven't heard anyone do that before.
I know one of the things Jacob was saying why he liked it is like we all had different routes, so that's why he kind of wanted to talk about it. So
For sure.
Yeah, you guys have such different routes right now.
you know,
have a different route than
I
these
graduate. Us three all graduated like a couple months ago. And how long have you been? When did you graduate?
Like 2 years ago. I graduated 2 years ago.
Okay.
If you can't tell, I'm old.
No, he's not.
Older than all of you guys here, I bet.
Well, yes.
Exactly, I'm
Oh,
old.
yes.
Exactly, I'm old.
But
Not much old.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Take a
Never
guess.
mind, I can't.
Take a guess.
Oh,
how
you have
old
to
I
guess
am.
now.
You have to guess how old I am, Michael.
Well, you're 19. 20.
Pick one.
20. I think 20.
20.
Yeah, you're 20, right?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Mhm.
I was trying to get him slipped up on 19.
No, 19 because like 2 years. I mean, maybe, but I don't think
You'd
so.
have to graduate at 17. I was not lucky enough for that.
Yeah, I did.
You graduated 17?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were born in.
2006.
There you go. Forgets
Do you not
birthday.
remember?
Why did my brain just turn off? August.
July. July.
All right. Okay, here's the thing. When I was a kid, I had a friend who was like only 2 months older than me. Yeah, 2 months older than me, but he was in a grade above me, and because it was really annoying because the way that the system worked in Eugene was different, and so I had a
Yeah,
friend,
you
a
should.
close
You
friend.
should. In Washington State,
Oh, yeah.
anyways, you should have been a grade above me.
That's true.
Yeah.
If I was born in Washington, I would have already have graduated a while ago. Which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy to think about.
Good thing you didn't.
graduated right
Yeah.
after me.
I've always been like the oldest person in the grade
Yeah.
because of the way that it worked for me in Oregon, and it's not bad, but it's just different for sure.
Yeah,
It's,
well,
it is kind of weird.
I was always closer to the young side.
Yeah, I feel like
I was.
Wait, what
most
month,
of the time
Jacob?
The youngest.
Huh?
What month?
March.
March.
So like I wasn't super close, but I was always closer to the young side more than the older side.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was-
June.
I was. I'm July. I
Yeah.
was most of the time the youngest, and,
Mm.
and still am the youngest in this group. But it's besides the point.
Besides,
you were born in 2006, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's crazy.
04 baby.
I was 05.
Dude,
It's really weird to think about.
my sister was born in 03.
You're only a year young.
You said March.
Mathing
Yeah,
about
March.
yours, maybe.
You're literally a year younger than her.
I guess that's kind of an interesting place to start. Just like it is weird how big of a difference it makes in school about like age.
Yeah.
You know, like age is such a major thing in school, and I feel like so much of society sometimes, like with like the friendships you have, are built off of your friends with people your age because it's people in your grade.
Mm-hmm.
But I've spent so much time in Christian circles. We had this talk with Scott at the brunch for conference about how he has friends who are like 10 years older than him, or 10 years younger than him, or like even more than that.
Yeah.
And when you're, depending on what circle you kind of spend most of your time in, people either exclusively have friends their age or not.
To clarify, Scott is our special guest.
Yes. From
Two
our first
episode ago.
Guest was
Episode
Scott.
4.
Yes.
So,
The outside
Masculinity.
podcast.
the outside podcast that went really well, and the video
The lighting
quality
was
so good.
awesome.
Oh, it was amazing. Especially
It was fine,
for
it was fine.
Richard Press. It really added
I
character.
think I realized the reason that was glitching is because it was actually a long story, but the white balance was glitched and it was bad.
We need more black.
No, because the lighting was changing all the time, and so the camera was trying to adjust, but it wouldn't because I turned off the option to let it adjust because I like to do it myself. Anyways, that's not important. But I mean, we all have had mostly same or close to same age friendships.
Only like 2 year difference,
Right,
really.
at most.
Maybe 3.
I mean, I guess it's kind of different with church because we had some friends and because we had like Foster and we had Emmett, friends from church, who were definitely different grades than us, but like it was still close enough,
Yeah.
But then we
Yeah.
kind of got older, and then now we're all working, and we know people closely who are, I mean, you're actually closer in age to us than multiple of the people that we know, but like, it's different to be like.
But there's some people at
going
work
into
they're
the
like
working
late
world?
20 or
Yeah.
late 20s.
Like half my friends are like married now, and like are like buying their first house and like having kids, and like it's weird that difference between high school to like adult friendships.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's mostly just the workplace is the thing that brings together mostly for the majority of people. Because the only place would be church, but not everyone's church. So
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't know. It's weird how that a lot of society is built around like same age friendships, but it kind of changes very suddenly after high school. It's a weird change in a way. So
do we want to go to our first question?
Yeah. So our first question is, if you could, it doesn't have to be high school or whatever, it could be literally any school, but a fictional school from like a show or a movie, which one would you go to?
you look at me because you think I know the answer that I'm gonna give.
No, I don't. I know the answer
No.
I'm gonna give.
I have many different.
I have
answers
a couple,
that
but I
there's
think
some
I have
that
a
are
main.
niche and some that are just like funny, and some that are genuine.
So who's gonna?
Do you want me to go?
first?
Who wants to go first?
I think we
You
should.
go first.
Okay, you go first.
Me go first? I'm gonna say Monster University, bro.
That did not even enter my brain. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah,
That's
you'd
crazy.
be eaten
That's
alive,
crazy.
dude.
No, but hear me out though. Like,
Hear
okay,
me
wait,
out.
wait.
Hear me out,
No,
dude.
no. It's just like I don't know.
Is this under the assumption
We're all
that you are also a monster if you?
Yes, I'm a
Okay.
monster. Of course, now like I would be the
Monster.
little
Dude,
kid.
No, okay, hold on. If you're a human going into the monster world, they'd be terrified of you, because they're terrified.
Oh, they're
of
scared of
little children.
humans, but like that wouldn't help me scaring little kids.
I know.
Pause.
Austin's really good at scaring kids. Okay,
Stop.
good to know.
Stop.
They
They
run
run to
away
school to
when
learn
they
how to
see
do
it.
better. So
I think
I did not even think about that. That movie's really good though. I'm not gonna lie.
it
I kind of
is.
like Monsters University more than I like Monsters Inc. I swear.
I
Yeah.
think that's the first one that came to mind. Not even. No, I kind of looked it up, like trying to think of fictional schools. I'm like, that kind of is a good answer, but I'm like, that's a good
I
movie.
think there's one really common one that people would answer to this that I don't think anyone here's gonna say.
What is the common one?
Hogwarts.
Yeah, no,
I saw that one too. I
Yes.
was kind of
I
thinking
feel
that.
like
Heck no.
there's a
Nah.
very large number of people who would say Hogwarts would be like the one they'd pick, but none of you guys are like nerdy enough to say that.
Nah, for
I
real.
I would consider that as an option. The thing is, I've like only just gotten into Harry Potter recently.
Has only played the game.
I've
He hasn't
only
even
played the game. Yeah,
seen
I've
the
only
movie.
played Hogwarts Legacy. I've never watched any of the movies. So if I said that, people would flip their
Bro's
lids.
fake.
What
Yeah,
about
I'm
you?
a big fan for real.
Big fan.
What about you, Michael?
For me, it would be Elmore Junior High
Wait, which one's that?
from The Amazing World of Gumball.
No way. No way you know the
Okay,
name of it.
In that one, it's literally just Michael. Like no art style change or anything. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
it's just straight up like hyper realistic Michael. Just.
I'm surprised you remember the name of the high school.
I didn't watch it when I was a kid. So
I did,
seen
but,
most of
like-
it, but that's a base answer actually. That's really funny. Oh wait, I thought of that.
Dude, it's because of the just the amount of shenanigans that would go on in that school. I'd probably die. Unironically.
That show is so weird.
Michael
Yeah.
shows up for one episode and then like something comical happens and he dies and they're like, "Oh, he'll come back, right?" Because they're cartoons and then you're just actually dead.
That would take a dark turn.
They didn't get Bro's reboot card.
Not the reboot.
What's your answer?
Fortnite school.
I'm trying to think if there's a school in Florida. I think there is.
No, there isn't.
Kind of funny though.
I don't know. I've only had one answer really come to mind because I don't really.
I hate you.
Because I don't really like watch TV like that. I watch like criminal shows, so there's like no school. So like it's hard to say. But like the only show that really came to mind was All American. I think I'd be fine. Like watching all that drama go down would be hilarious.
That's fair.
I'd just be sitting there with my phone like,
Yo, that's crazy, bro. I was gonna say the first answer that came to my mind when I read this question was the high school from Twilight.
No.
It's just so. It would be so funny.
That'd be hilarious.
Everyone there is like brain dead. I swear. When you watch those movies, they're so bad. Respectfully, if you like Twilight, too bad.
Yeah,
But
it's sad.
it's highly entertaining to me how stupid the people are in that school.
I just know our female viewer count just
look,
plummeted.
No, if there's, I can guarantee you that women who like Twilight do not watch our podcast.
Yeah. You got a point.
Okay. What was another answer that came to mind?
It's not a school, but you guys watch Divergent?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like that would be fun, but it's not like a school type thing. But you do like learn
that's fair.
and all that type of stuff. So like, I think that would be fun.
I'd die if I.
Oh, I
tried
would
to
too.
do
I would
that.
too.
Oh,
I would too, because I'd be choosing Dauntless and I'd just be out in the first round.
For real.
I'd be on the streets.
Okay. Who would ever pick High School Musical?
I do not care about that, bro.
High School Musical. You kidding me?
No.
They don't even do school. They just dance around and sing. It's so easy.
Yeah, but that's almost more embarrassing.
Straight A's. I would
Imagine not
totally.
being able to dance or sing.
I would dance around and sing if I meant a 4.0 GPA in musicalness. So, I mean, I'm just saying that's a good answer. But my more niche answer from like Disney movies. Do you remember Sky High?
No.
Do you remember Sky High?
I don't know.
There's no way. Okay, I know for a fact you've seen
Wait.
this movie. Sky High is a movie where it's like a superhero high
That's-
school.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Such a dumb
That's
movie.
such a niche and specific memory that popped in my head when you mentioned fictional schools for some reason. I was like, that'd be
One thing I was also thinking is Xavier's like school for.
cool, like
That'd
X-Men.
be.
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh.
fire.
Of course, you have to have like be gifted, you know. But I'm gifted a different. I'm in a gifted class.
You're in a different kind of special ed. That's crazy. Yeah, there's actually a lot more fictional schools than I think there were when I first read this question. I was like, how many did I need to think of?
I'm
But,
trying to think.
Springfield Elementary School
like
from The Simpsons.
Simpsons.
No.
I didn't really watch
Deep
that.
bright yellow. It's crazy.
Yeah, who would watch Simpsons? Me on season 30.
Hey, yo.
I know Elias was watching Simpsons a lot for a while, and I was like, how much of that is this? How much show?
It's like 34
It's like the One
seasons.
Piece of old white people, bro. It's crazy.
Dude, I'm just glad that none of us are weebs, that we just didn't say like some sort of anime high school.
My
Or-
Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I used to be into some anime, and then I was like, man, this kind of suck actually. And I just stopped watching it. So.
Based.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm saying.
If you like anime though, that's totally fine.
No, it's
If you like anime and you're normal, then it's
stop.
totally
Please stop
that's
watching.
fine. if you're not normal, please stop watching and touch grass.
Well,
touch.
no, keep watching and just learn from us. I don't know. Learn how
Learn
to
from
Keep
your
watching our
elders.
podcast. I think some other ones.
I can't think of
F1
one.
Academy. It's not a fictional place.
Bro.
It's actually real.
Huh?
Bro, I'd be able to put my speed.
Fiction.
Okay, if you could pick any actual school to go to, what would you go to? 'Cause I feel like there's a lot of people who
Like
want to go to certain
school.
schools, but it's like, I can't.
Well, I don't know. Like I could think
Can't
maybe
afford it.
colleges, maybe,
Yeah.
but not like. I'm not gonna be like, oh, there's this one. No. There's this one school I know in Georgia. Like nobody knows some random high school in Georgia they want to go to. They don't even know what it is.
Hey, how do you know that? How do you know I don't know a random school in
Dude,
Georgia?
Georgia's fire. What do you mean?
I'm not hating on Georgia. I'm just saying.
Georgia Tech,
Georgia
random
hater.
school. No.
He's a Georgia hater.
I'm not a Georgia hater, bro. Georgia fans, don't come after me.
I feel like there's a lot of very specific, like schools that are known for certain things, you know, like this MIT is specific for like computer tech. So if you're really into that, or like you want to make a lot of money doing it, then you could totally pick that. But I feel like the actual effort it takes to get into any of those fancy schools would be miserable,
Oh yeah.
you know. Especially like medical school, dude.
You have
Medical
no
school
life.
sucks, and then you get into the actual medical field to work, and
And
it
then
still
you-
sucks.
No,
You're
I know
in
someone
debt.
who's in medical school, and it was miserable.
Dude.
He had no life outside of it.
Friggin' 14-hour days every night.
I wanted to go to a racing school of some sort.
Be pretty fire. But I feel like a racing school only teaches so much
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
I
A
don't
lot of it
care.
comes down to skill.
I-
know?
Probably
Yeah.
a flight school, honestly.
I trust my. Okay, maybe I should, but like I kind of trust my common sense in life.
I just
Like,
want you to
and
know
also-
I don't trust his.
I have
Don't trust Michael in it.
I have other people I can rely on and ask for like
That's fair.
for me. I think going to college and school is really only beneficial if you want to be a doctor, a law
Teacher,
enforcement, be
lawyer.
into a law enforcement, lawyer, or anything government related. Besides that, don't bother. Go get a life, and
Marines.
get a job, and like get job experience. That's my opinion.
So what we're hearing
I
here
think
is
liberal arts ruin college.
Yep.
Gender studies goes.
Gender studies, women's studies, queer history studies. It's like I feel like people only started hating on college once those degrees popped up, and that started becoming a very common thing. Because in the past, if someone said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be a paleontologist" or something, it's like, "Wow, that's niche."
what's
but
that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Someone who tasted dinosaur bones.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah, I didn't
public
know
school.
the name.
Like
He's
of
public
Ross
school.
from Friends,
It's okay.
bro.
He's public school. But like,
Hey, I'm public schooled.
I'm the
What's
only
that
one school
supposed to
here. I just
mean?
realized that's crazy. We're talking about high school.
What's that supposed to
okay.
mean?
We'll get onto that later. But technically, I'm the only person who never actually went to high school.
Yeah.
So my high school experience was very different from yours.
Your high school
So-
experience was more of
Invalid.
Well, my teachers on
church.
church.
Yours was online
It's-
and
I had mostly most of my high school experience was just from church. Was the
Yeah.
people I knew from church. That was it. So it's kind of ironic that I'm even here.
Yeah, kick him off his own podcast, guys.
I'm only here to facilitate.
Yeah, that's
right?
why it was hard to find a question because I'm like, I can't ask a question about a high school experience because you weren't in high
You guys are
school.
like, what was your least favorite teacher? And I'm like, I can't.
Mine.
My
Your
mom.
That's crazy.
well, that means she's your favorite teacher at the same time because
She's the
there's
best and
only-
worst teacher I've ever had. No, I'm kidding.
that's terrible.
I'm kidding.
He doesn't
Okay.
mean that.
I don't mean that.
Shout out
my
to our
mom
moms.
does not watch this. Huh?
Shout out to our moms.
Big shout out to moms. Anyways, on that note,
Whoa,
so
bro.
quiet. Dude, that was dead air. That was crazy. Okay, I guess we can kind of lead into our second question from there. Is what is the best and worst part of high school for you?
COVID.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
COVID was
wait,
bad.
that is also another important
My
thing to bring up.
Lord,
Dang, that
Talk
man
about
was
bass.
blasting.
it's a Subaru.
It's
Super.
I'm pretty sure the mics are
That's
the
insane.
mics are picking that up.
Bro, he
That's
must
crazy.
have-
That was insane.
I can't say
that
that.
was super.
That's
I was thinking that was
after-
gonna be a
that's
big
aftermarket.
rigged
That's
up
crazy.
truck, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, were you were in high school during COVID
Yeah.
for like
2 years.
Oh, 2
No,
years?
it was my sophomore junior.
Oh, dang. Oh,
Sophomore.
right.
That's weird.
Oh my gosh,
That's a
COVID
weird.
was so long ago.
Yeah, it
Dude.
was.
Almost 5
years
years.
Yeah, it's 5 years ago now.
That's 5 years ago, starting in.
It was end of it got started in the U.S. at the end of 2018 and got
Right.
popular. Got like popular, I guess.
It caught on.
It
caught on in March.
It caught on in March. Yeah.
Jeez.
It said, you know what? I'm gonna be the cool kid now.
Saying COVID is the worst part, I feel like is not entirely accurate because I
Nah.
feel like I have some people complaining about high school that being in having COVID in high school didn't sound that bad. Compared
Nah,
to people
honestly.
explain the actual
mean,
experience.
Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I'm not gonna lie. I went to one class every time online school, and it was just my theater class because we were doing an online play. And she said if I
That's
didn't
fair.
go, she
An
said if I
online
didn't.
play.
Yeah,
That's
she said if I
crazy.
didn't go, I couldn't be in it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wake up for that class and just never go to it anymore.
That's crazy.
And you couldn't.
That's
fail.
valid though.
You couldn't fail. They would not let you fail. The lowest
You
you
can't
get was a
fail
D.
in 8 still.
No, they literally would only give you a D at the lowest. They could not give you an F.
That's crazy.
So I
Okay,
said,
what was
nah.
what is the good and the bad of COVID high school compared to anything else? Because it didn't affect
So-
me.
Bad of COVID is it was my first year of high school.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that was big thing was freshman year. Like we kind of got gypped out on our freshman year of high school, and
Couldn't be me.
yeah. But how was freshman year? Was it like was
Oh,
it really?
honestly, it sucks.
I was gonna say this is what I mean.
So-
Every
That
time I hear people talk about high school, they talk about how much it sucks. And I'm
It's
like,
because you
bro.
don't. A lot of people from different schools are gonna be there, and half the time your friends from your middle school go other schools,
That's true.
and so you just like lose a lot of
It is
people.
true.
And I
Had
had
some,
no
yeah.
one. I literally had 2 people when I came into high school. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna live life like this, I guess.
That's crazy.
I can name like I can count on my hands the amount of people that have been in school since elementary school. Like they've gone through elementary, middle, and high school, and I may not know them, but I can count on my hands the amount.
Yeah, I could say the same. Like I know them. I like know of them, but I'm not like friends with them.
Yeah.
But I can count on my 10 fingers.
You have
Yeah.
10 fingers? What?
You can count.
Crazy. You can.
This is very dark. Someone talk about counting.
But
I could probably hit 15.
but if we're talking about the good and
20.
bad of
I name them now.
if we're talking, I'm not gonna just talk to him.
You could just literally say 20 random names and nobody else is gonna know.
Okay, but one of them, if I
John
say,
Smith, Dan Smith. They're all from BYU, by the way.
Full legal
I
name.
can't say that. But point being, getting back to the pros and cons of COVID during high school. First, I think a big major con was not having much social interactions.
Also, I didn't learn I didn't learn a single thing.
Yeah,
No,
that
I
too.
didn't.
But we don't care about that.
I made it learn a single thing like all 4 years pretty much. So
Dude, we're gonna be cooked when those people become doctors, bro.
Yo, for real.
Chat GPT doctors.
ChatGPT doctors.
Gosh, that's actually like terrible.
It's gonna be our lives, bro. We're gonna deal with that.
You're on your deathbed. They're like, oh, let me ask ChatGPT real quick.
Skip this part and Zoom calls, bro.
But the bad is, I think the biggest thing with COVID in general for most everyone besides just high school is just social interactions went down the hole. So everyone's social skills, except for those weirdos, kind of went like down the just went down the hole.
I think I just got shot.
No, not you.
Yeah, those weird homeschool
kids.
Yeah. Those dorks who already are used to not having social interactions.
Okay. But point being,
I will say, it is funny. Every time I talk to a high school person, like, all my social interactions went down. I was like, I don't go to school, and I still have social interactions all the time. Like, people assume homeschoolers are like
I know you
some
guys-
Amish people who live under a rock.
I thought they're not. Wait.
Wait, what? But like, I consistently had like daily interactions with kids my age, like on the reg when I was in high school and even in middle school and stuff. Like, I was very consistently staying
but
connected
it
with
was
friends.
more of a tight knit community than
Yeah,
a high school.
but it's better than like
that falls apart with
Exactly.
nothing.
it's like, oh wow, I don't really care about these people. It's all proximity. It's not, you don't actually want to be around them necessarily. You have to be around them. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Who says I want to be around anyone?
Real. Honestly, it probably does help that I'm quite an introvert, so that probably does help a lot. But that's totally unrelated.
Yeah, I was not really. I'm still not, but not really an introvert.
Being trapped in a Zoom call was not it, bro.
I hated that so much.
When the
Zoom
teacher would
calls-
call on someone and it just nobody talks.
So okay, that was funny though. That was like genuinely funny, because it'd be like, Austin, can you answer this?
Or it'll be Spanish. How do you say this in Spanish?
There's just no, yeah,
No, thank you.
Just be like, sorry, my internet dropped. Couldn't do it.
yeah, and then another con. Honestly, the cons, there's not many. I mean, there was a lot, but like none that I can think of at the moment. But the amount of, even though there's not that many, I feel like it outweighs the pros in some ways.
Like they're a lot bigger. Like there's
Yes.
maybe there's I'm not gonna talk.
No, you got
Each
Oh,
con,
gosh.
like
There was a decent amount of good
No,
things. Okay.
don't laugh.
No,
Good.
go. Okay, there's a decent amount of good things, but the cons were a lot bigger than a lot of the good things.
That's
Yes.
fair.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
goods were like, yeah, I get to sleep in now. But the cons were like, oh yeah, I haven't seen any of my friends in 3 weeks.
yeah.
The thing that actually hit me the most was,
6
like,
months.
the thing that hit me the most was actually like I didn't have anywhere to like actually go for the Zoom calls because my sister went downstairs, so I was trapped up in my room. So like my room felt like the school,
Yeah,
and there was a point where it was like I just don't want to be in my room anymore.
Okay, that was super real. During COVID, I spent so much time in my room that I was sleeping terribly because I would.
I keep on hearing like
No, I
random
heard that.
noises
I heard
from
it too.
the trailer. This thing totally isn't falling apart. I don't know what you're talking about.
The whole pop out just falls out at the very end of the podcast.
I
That'd be hilarious.
keep on hearing it. Okay,
I heard
whatever.
it too.
Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, like I spent so much time doing school in my room, especially in my bed. I would be like doing school.
It's you.
We go, Jack. It's okay. I'm
Not the
listening.
culprit.
Sorry.
Imposter. Vote him out. Anyways,
What?
like I would finish school, and then I would just stay in bed for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And then once it got to nighttime, my brain was like, it's like this is the place we do school. So my brain is still thinking about school, and so I never really like stopped doing school.
Yeah.
Y'all ever fall asleep on a Zoom call?
Yeah. If you didn't,
didn't
did you
take
actually
Zoom
go?
calls.
Oh yeah, I guess you did.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it got to the point where like I didn't want to be in my bed. So like my family was getting rid of our couch and it had like a sectional piece. So I literally took the sectional up to my room and I was like, that was where I did school. Like I could
That's
not
fair.
do anything in my bed anymore because I was just
That's
like,
super
dude,
valid.
I can't focus now.
I think because I've read a lot of different studies about like how the space you do things affects your motivation to get things done, and like how much was proven during COVID, how important it was to like have a different room for you to do work in versus doing it in your bedroom is like really bad for your brain.
I can imagine having different rooms for different things.
But just like no, but
Bro's trapped in here.
It hadn't conceptually been like, oh, this is something we should be concerned about until COVID happened, and they were like, why is everyone getting ADHD and depression? It's because like the human brain is not meant to do everything that they do in life in the same room.
Yeah.
It's like very bad for your brain. Like that's why we have a kitchen and we have a dining room. It's like this is where you make food and then you eat it there. If you eat food in your room, you're gonna be hungry all the time because your brain's like, this is where I eat food. So then you're just always gonna be hungry, you know. And it just completely we all squished our lives into one room and it was bad. Were you muted?
Oh my, Michael was.
I don't know how long, but I caught it.
It's
for real.
fine.
Michael
We were
was.
both muted. No, I
How?
was
I don't
Oh,
know.
you were
how.
noticed
I was
muted.
pointing it to you.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to go and interrupt Jack. Like, hey,
Michael, you're muted.
Dude, last episode when you were doing the intro and you muted yourself, he literally spent like a good 2 minutes trying to tell you were muted and you were not listening.
You just kept on talking.
He kept
That's
saying
what
it.
I'm saying.
I literally.
Trying to interrupt Michael is impossible, bro.
Okay, it was real though. I watched the clip and I had to cut out like a good 3 minutes worth of content between you doing the intro and you realizing it was muted because he noticed like first thing, and then kept going and going and going. It was so funny.
Oh my.
Anyways, okay, what about the good though? Because you guys keep saying that there's a lot of good that outweighs the bad necessarily.
You get to sleep in.
Like COVID wise,
It was a very easy time. To
you
pass
you
classes.
cannot fail in COVID.
yeah, it was almost impossible.
And
Which I don't know if it's a good thing.
you
I
got
don't know if
the
it was a
It
good
wasn't
thing.
a good thing.
It wasn't because everyone's.
Okay.
It was like a
retarded
good and a bad
after.
also. Because like the good thing is you don't have to try for the classes, but the bad thing is you didn't have to try.
Yeah.
So you didn't put effort into it.
And then it went to your next years when you actually went to school. You're
Yeah,
like, if you feel like you don't have to try, but you do now, or you're gonna
I
actually
think one
fail.
of the absolute biggest pros of COVID was you had so much time to play video games with your
For
friends.
real.
Like I'm not.
We
No,
played-
that's the time when Warzone just went.
We
through the
played
roof.
a copious amount of Warzone during COVID.
Dude,
Like staying up till 4 like every night playing Warzone. It was.
I don't know if it was.
Wait,
not 4, we stayed up
Warzone?
late playing Warzone.
Dude, were we playing Warzone in
Yeah,
2020?
during COVID?
2019, 2020.
No, I'm thinking
I don't
because
think we were playing.
we were playing that like throughout. I feel like our junior year more.
Yeah, it was more through sophomore, junior year we were playing that. But besides the point,
They were
no.
gaming.
it was. See, your high school perception is a little skewed because like you
But sophomore year was also COVID though.
halfway.
halfway, yeah, 'cause it was half
Yeah.
half.
I didn't even go to school after. I was
Well,
online that entire
Look
time.
at you go.
Right?
I
Yeah,
was in
wait.
school.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, what?
Maybe.
what
I don't
was the
know. I don't
impact-
know.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter to you guys because you're sophomore and junior year.
Sophomore,
right?
junior. Yeah.
So you had 1 year where you were in school, and then you had 2 years where you were out of it, and then. you
Well,
went back
it wasn't
in.
exactly 2 years. So it was the end of. It was March first. So I only had like 3 months left of school.
Mm.
So I literally missed 3 months, and we're like, I think the whole world was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna be out for these 3 months. Come
Yeah.
back to person next year.
Right.
But honestly, we got a call over the intercom. They were like, school's gonna be out for like 2 weeks. We're going to virtual, and we're like, okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And then we kept getting notifications from school that's like, it kept getting postponed and
2 weeks,
postponed. and
and
Look,
postponed.
Yeah.
look. The first 2 weeks, you're like, yo, we have.
That was the
weeks
best.
off.
That was the best moment
the best
ever.
news ever.
And then it just kept going and going.
And it's 2 years later. You're like,
Come on, where's my peoples?
I'm done.
Yeah.
I was so done.
these 2
Yeah,
weeks.
I've
This is a long
heard
2
this-
weeks.
I've heard this meme happened multiple times in our life.
Yeah, there's no way. Dude.
I'm gonna give you a stand again.
Dude,
so you stop doing
this
it.
button is so stupid.
Yeah,
Because it
it's
just takes
sensitive.
a little
Bro,
tap.
Hey, you're the only one that struggles. Just to let you know.
It's kind of true.
Put your hand on the back,
That's it.
finger here,
I'm
and just
holding
like,
it, so I'm not even touching that side.
yeah.
It's
So
I don't even know.
point is, I've seen a lot of memes that are like, "Yo, we get 2 weeks off of school." 3 years later, and
It's
You know,
it's
That's
like
almost
Walter
exactly
White
how it was.
with a
Yeah.
dead cold stone.
It's almost
face,
how
real.
it was. Like I came back in the middle of my junior year because we had the option. Because the first half we didn't have an option. We were out of
right,
school.
Yeah.
But when we got the option, I was like, I just can't be here anymore.
yeah.
I was going insane.
I didn't go back. I didn't want to wear a mask, bro. I did not. I could not.
Honestly, I didn't want to either. But I was like, I can't not see people.
Yeah.
It was making
Wearing
me
okay.
lose my mind.
I don't want to get political, but wearing a mask was the dumbest thing ever.
It was.
Look,
but also,
look.
It wasn't like,
At-
at the same time.
At first, we didn't know
Oh yes.
until people were like, "This is
They're
kind of.
calling
I
it-
can smell a fart through this mask." I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure a you get my point.
Yeah, it
The
wasn't
reason.
helping that
Okay, the
much.
reason of a mask is to prevent your like saliva and stuff,
Yeah.
like when you're talking, from getting out. It doesn't prevent you or protect you from stuff getting in.
Well, that was the thing. Masks are only effective if everyone uses it, and not
Yeah.
everyone is using it. So they're
Or-
completely ineffective.
People who were actually sick using them. It's
Yeah, but you
people
can't
who are.
know if you're sick.
Yeah.
I know.
Some people were
Not everyone is-
asymptomatic, Michael.
I but point being, it was just a
Politically,
Yeah,
it
it was
created
stupid.
a lot more tension than it needed to,
yeah.
because there was they were not being honest about the science of it, which was mainly the actual problem. If they'd come out at the very beginning and said, "Look, if everyone wears a mask, then everyone would be protected," then everyone would have more collectively been like, "Okay, yeah, I get that."
Mm-hmm.
But when they're saying you wear a mask to protect yourself, that's not exactly how it actually functions.
Yeah.
Ring rated. It's the
It's not
FBI.
even. It's not even scary, bro.
Probably my
Bro, it's
my
just,
dad.
it's just stress.
That's what it's because I keep on holding it like this and then it goes like that.
Just use like 2 fingers or something. Bro.
But I just don't like holding. I don't like holding it like this because these protrude into your hand. It's just uncomfortable.
Oh no. Yeah, hold like Jay. Hold it like that. I don't actually like holding it like that. It's too low on my hand. I can't.
Bears just hold it like that.
But,
yeah,
okay.
it just holds up here. Hi guys.
But you guys did end up having some time in high school.
Well, yeah,
How-
maybe
how
like
was that
2
experience?
years ish.
Yeah.
So I will say other student or just students in general, their their
He's
work
signing it?
their
He's
work
signing it?
their work ethic just went to rock
Group
bottom.
projects.
Yeah, that didn't happen. I mean, whenever, unless you were actually enjoyed school, which was not many people in high school.
Why are you looking like that?
I'm just
Bell's
talking.
calling
to
out.
you.
Kidding.
It wasn't really ever. I mean, yeah, work ethic just went to rock bottom, and it was a lot more fun than previous years. I will admit, because we just screwed around a lot, but it was there wasn't a lot of production.
It was good that you guys got to do Cascadia Tech, though.
Oh yes,
I think that was
timing
one of the
worked out
best
perfect
parts
for me.
because I didn't have to be in
because
school.
Cascadia Tech actually enforced like, hey, you need to do your work and stuff.
And it's a focus on your interest.
Yeah, exactly.
They focused on interest, but they were also a lot more strict, which I think was good.
Yes.
Like if school was like that, I think, or if just high school was just like, oh, you want to do that? Maybe 4 years of just a Cascadia Tech kind of program, instead of going to.
I mean, that's
Doing-
generally what schools should be like.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, at the end of the day, if you're not going to school for the thing you're interested in, you're not
Hold
going
on.
to anything.
Exactly.
Isn't there a school or just schools in Germany where they just pick what classes they want to do?
I mean, yeah, that's a very common format for school in basically any other country in the world. Only in America do we have the system where it's just like, here's the standardized testing that you need to fill out for everything, and like everyone has to be at the same level.
Well,
all
there's
the
like
time.
there's like the reading test and the math test. Nobody tried on those things. Like the iReady tests.
Yeah.
well,
I
I mean, I
did too,
kind
but-
of.
I tried. Well, somewhat. I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to have the worst score possible. Like I had a decent
Yeah.
score, but I'm not
Okay,
going
for
to.
the math. For the math part of the iReady test, I actually did try because I didn't mind math. Like I enjoyed math.
Mm.
The reading and writing, dude, I was just this one. Let's try that one. Yeah, I think that one's like. I did not care about the reading and writing ones, and that's when I would be like, so I don't think you answered these. Like the teacher would pull you aside and be like, I don't think you. Have you ever had this happen where the teacher's like, I think you skipped through most of these
No,
classes.
see,
No.
Michael, you had to learn the trick. You wait a minute and a half.
I didn't have the patience to
No,
that.
you literally waited a minute and a half, and it would just be like, okay, they did read it, and you just pick a random answer.
What I hate is when they
You
got rid of the games on iReady,
Bro,
bro.
when they got rid of the games, I was done. I was like, nah, you can't make me do this.
Because there was this
no more.
one glitch where you would play the game because you only get it for a certain amount of times, but then you close it right before the game ends and you can play it again.
Yeah, it was.
So you could just keep doing that, and it was so fun.
That's crazy. They
I,
need the stress.
I never did that.
I did. It was fun.
Michael's a
The
tryhard.
games were the only.
No, I
good
just didn't
thing
know
about
you could
the
do
whole thing.
that.
And then they replaced the game with like a breathing exercise.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, I don't.
I'm
wanna
like,
breathe.
dude,
I want this test
I've been
done.
breathing this entire time. I don't need to do it more. I'm not dead.
It's like you seem stressed.
The breathing exercise was actually hilarious because the guy when he was doing but he would do it like.
It was so
Like it sounded
Okay,
exactly like
it would be
that.
funny when kids would do it really loud in the middle
Exactly
of the
what
test.
it was so funny.
That was a good part.
Because what you would do is you would mute the part where he goes, and then you unmute it when he goes, and just have it playing it. It's so stupid.
So funny.
Maybe that was the best part of high school. I don't know.
Taking
I like
the
tests.
test.
Taking the
Standardized
test.
tests are the ones that everyone's like, oh, it sucked. And you're like, that was the best.
Found joy in bad things.
It is. I think it is. I'm probably just like more of a hater of standardized testing because it was much more difficult for me.
Yeah.
Going into Clark,
L.
they're like, because with like, especially with math, because that's something I really struggle with. But I was going for an English degree.
Couldn't imagine.
I was going for an English degree, an associate's in arts in English. That was it, right? What math is there needed? Only the parts for like the standardized like gen ed stuff, right? And so I had to do a lot of extra and pay a lot more extra for extra math classes because I was behind on math. I'm just not as good at math. But literally no part of my academic career revolves around math at all. So it just felt like a waste to me of my time and money to even do it at all. I wasted this, like
That's why I'm saying
weeks
you should
of
be able to
summer
go to
doing
a
math.
school where it's just like. I mean, you should learn like basic math
people should know
skills,
basic
of
math.
course.
Anything past like honestly algebra is just not.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're telling me you're not gonna write a book on geography and like
No.
all that type of stuff?
I'm not.
You're not gonna write geography. You're not gonna write.
I'm not writing a
Algebra,
trigonometry.
Circumference of a
trigonometry.
circle.
I know geometry.
So pi.
Guys, I know geometry's the map. I just couldn't think of trigonometry,
I
bro.
don't remember the
3 point.
Don't call me out.
3.1.
Trig
Well,
is
that's pi, but
atrocious.
Oh, circumference.
how do you
Dang, I guess I can't read any of your books from that one.
I can't remember because
Is it like-
year,
wait, no.
I didn't take a math class.
Radius squared times pi or something like that.
Yeah,
No.
sounds
No,
similar.
no.
I don't remember.
It's like
Once-
radius squared times pi or
Once
something.
they added shapes, I said,
Plus.
nah, you got
Wait,
me outta
because
here.
radius is like from like the middle of the circle to the end of it, right? Yeah, and then you square that, and then you times by pi. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Nerd.
I'm not a nerd. I just know. I think.
I
know.
think.
That sounds accurate.
I know to find slope, you do y equals mx plus b, and then
Okay, I actually kind
Uh,
of liked like linear systems and stuff. That
I
was the
hated
only
it.
part of math that I liked.
That was the only thing I hated.
Exponential is
I was-
useful sometimes.
I was not good
yeah,
at
for certain
geometry,
things.
but
Yeah,
algebra, I'm
like,
fine.
And then
I failed.
Rational expression.
Like, bro, I don't
rational
even know
expression is,
the area of
like,
this
the
triangle,
slope
but I
of,
do
like, how close
not
you get to
care.
zero without actually getting to zero.
Yeah.
Conceptualizing that when I make purchases is like a big thing. It's literally just girl math. It's like how many times I have to use it to make it close to zero. What y'all? What did I get?
He's giggling, bro. He's
We were
dying.
talking about finding the area of a triangle. It's like, bro, I failed how to do summer school for that. Don't ask me.
I also had to do summer school for math because I just wasn't good at math, and I had to do it to get my 2-year. And I was like, well, I want to.
Wait, you know one of the things I realized I
Wait,
might
hold
have. You know how I talk like stutter, bro. Dude,
The-
literally when I was shut up. Literally when I was in elementary school, I had to go to like speech things though because I could not say like R, like the R, like saying it. I could not say it.
Austin
said,
like
like,
all. Austin, who's gonna tell you that I had that same thing and I don't stutter like you. I think.
No. It's fine. It's fine. It's no. Definitely, it's a sign. It's a sign.
I'm
I promise.
Maybe the speech therapy just didn't work for you.
Yeah, I failed it.
Well,
She
failed
said,
speech therapy.
she said, I'll get rid of this problem, but I'm gonna give you another.
That's crazy.
The
I knew a lot of
the-
friends
the-
who.
Dora.
Oh, okay. I will say, I went to elementary school. I went from preschool
Sorry.
into 5th grade. Right. I did all that. Right. And one thing that happened a lot in elementary school is that I would.
okay.
That's crazy. I would do the standardized testing, and they would be like, "Wow, you're really good at math. You're really good at reading. You're such a gifted kid."
Mm.
And I was like, "I'm literally the goat, bro. School is so easy. This is so easy." And then it would get hard, and I'd be like, "I thought I was supposed to be good at this, and now I'm not good at this anymore. I guess I'll never be good at this." And I just gave up at like 4th or 5th grade. I was like, "Well, I guess I'll never be good at this." And like I just immediately assumed that I was supposed to be good at those things, and when they got hard, I stopped caring. So then my grades went down immediately. My mom was like, "Why the heck did you just start doing so badly in school?" Because I just was told that I was supposed to be really easy and really good at these things. So I feel like that was one big thing that affected my learning journey, was that I was one of those gifted kids in elementary, when really it was just you're gifted too.
Just in a different way.
But like
Dang.
they were like, "Oh man, you're really good at these things. This should be really easy for you." And then it got hard and it stopped being easy. So
You're not purple anymore.
I know. I keep.
Who cares?
No,
the color doesn't
No,
matter.
no.
Who
No one
cares?
can see it.
Move it.
That's crazy.
He's covering with his hand anyway, so it doesn't really
Yeah, I
matter.
heard the. You know, guys, I'll
It's
hold the mic
It's all
like
the
this.
idea. It's all
I'll hold the
idea.
mic like this. Here's the color for you guys.
You know what my favorite part of school was?
What?
Graduating with a 2-year. It was awesome. Skill diff, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, graduating was just good.
Yeah? You're happy to be done? Because I'm back to it now after.
Back to it.
And I didn't really miss it, but it's like not that bad still.
I miss it. Not gonna lie.
I'm what they call a career academic.
What?
I miss certain parts, I guess you could
That is
say.
also true. Two things can be true.
I said I miss certain parts of school, kind of.
I miss PE, bro. Like low key, I miss that need to be active.
I was like getting forced to do it.
Bro, I wasn't. I loved it. We went in. And
I
it was
liked it.
basketball every day, bro.
Oh, basketball was
We went
mad
in,
fun.
and we were balling. I was only a top 5 pick because of my height. I couldn't rebound over anyone. There were 2 tall people. Me and my buddy Ethan. He worked at the other Chick-fil-A for a bit. But
Really?
yeah, I would go first, and they'd immediately pick him because if they didn't, he'd come back to my team.
That's based.
And then they couldn't score on us.
That's crazy.
Shout out Ethan.
What else did you miss?
I don't know.
Just the routine.
Bro said I missed this.
Or
and
really
then-
did.
nah.
He said his iconic line. I don't know. You ask him for his advice on something. But like, what was your favorite part of school? Would you have to say, like of high school?
I don't know.
And do you miss it? I guess I could ask.
Favorite part? I don't know. Some of the interactions with people, like especially like non-Christians, honestly, was like, cause I wasn't like a deep like friendship, but like I got to know people pretty well, which I thought was
Yeah.
nice. I don't know. Some of the interactions were just really nice. I don't know. How many times can I say I don't know?
As much as
As
I,
many as you want.
as much as I kind of, or okay, I will say I did not dislike school. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. I mainly liked school because just the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I enjoy just socializing with people, and I think as much as I hated, or actually, hold on. There's one particular thing in school that I hated and liked at the same time. It was the debates, because the debates were always on either abortion or gun rights. There were never something else.
We
Pers-
took a personality test for these two one time, and they both got the debater
Yeah.
personality type. And I was like, this so makes sense. This
That
makes
that
so
makes
much
way
sense.
too
about you
much
two.
sense.
I was like, this explains so much right now. It was crazy.
But I always hated them because we were, or at least, my goodness,
Did they
I'm
like-
Austin right now.
Did they like force you to be on one side and you didn't get an option?
No.
'Cause that's what they did for us.
No,
They
no, no.
literally said you're on this side now. You don't get. An
I
option.
couldn't.
I was so pissed.
They would
'cause they put me
say-
on sides I'd have no want. I
would-
wouldn't be in the debate.
they
I'd
would-
literally just sit there and do nothing. I was like,
That's crazy.
They would say pick a side or choose your own opinion on it. A lot of people were opposite of what I chose because
Oh yeah.
that's
That checks out.
that's how it is.
Yeah.
And like main reason why I hated doing it is because everyone else chose the other thing. Like especially abortion, because you know they would always
you had to set yourself apart.
yes. And then it was difficult to express my opinion without hurting someone's feelings, which is like I don't really care about that, but
Facts.
especially when
Care
you're
about your.
especially when you're in class with them every day for at least half of the year, that makes it difficult to do that because you don't want to quote unquote ruin your friendship with them. But the thing is that the thing that sucks with that is that you shouldn't if your feelings shouldn't get hurt on someone else's opinion.
The other thing is too, I mean, I think it's just a flaw in debating as a whole
Yeah.
when you have to worry about feelings.
Yes.
Because one, the argument that you're making shouldn't harm people's feelings.
right.
Both in that you shouldn't be intending to hurt feelings or be saying things that intentionally attack another person's character or
Right.
virtues, and they shouldn't be taking things that are not attacking their character as something that is attacking their character.
Right.
Right. Like at the end of the day, on one side of the coin, it can be like your argument might be like an ad hominem attack, where you're intentionally attacking someone's character instead of the actual facts around the subject. But also, people do just often take a attack on their opinion as an attack on their character, which is not accurate.
Right.
And those things are not well facilitated in schools. What I'm hearing often.
Because
Not at all.
yeah, they don't know the difference between your opinion and your character. It's like those are two different things. Don't make them the same, because then you won't have many good friends.
Yeah.
For real.
But
Do you guys feel like your like stepping out in your beliefs on those things ever affected friendships often?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say it affected friendships, but it affected other people's view on me for sure. Because I wasn't friends with many people in high school. There was only like my senior year, I could count on like at Mountain View High School, not Cascadia Tech. At Mountain View High School, there was like literally 4 people that I was actually friends with there. The rest of them, I
Tolerated them.
basically, but
Yeah, it's proximity friendships. You're only
yes.
friends because you're near to each other, and you're like might
Yes.
as well tolerate each other and like try to make fun out of it instead of hating each other this whole time.
Yeah. I'll take my answer back. It ruined more the acquaintanceships that you had.
Yes.
And like, even if you were like, oh, you're kind of cool, I might want to be more closer friends with you. One wrong opinion is like they were out of your life. Like for me,
Yeah.
it was like the easiest way to make someone the villain in someone's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you had a similar experience with debates? Did you ever do debates when you were in high school?
No, not really. I mean, most of the times if I was talking to friends, like we might disagree, but it didn't really ruin.
You guys were pretty mature about it.
It was fine, yeah.
That's good.
I would say.
Probably it definitely depends on the culture. I guess it can be definitely very different tips from school to school.
The first debate I did, there was only 2 debates that we actually did in my whole high school
Career.
high school career.
There you go.
Sophomore year, it was my 3rd period class in world history, and our teacher just let us choose between like 20 different
Topics?
Yes, topics. 20 different topics. And the 2 that we got to choose the 2 that we all chose was abortion and gun rights. Abortion, like, I know my stance. It's hard to talk to people about that because it's more of a feelings thing to other people, because people don't view fetuses as human life. That's how it is. Gun rights, on the other hand, it's just logic. I can talk to people about, like, well, who's pulling the trigger? It's not. You put a gun in the middle of this room, no one's gonna die. It's not until someone goes to touch it.
Are you
and-
sure about
I can't. The second you said that, I was like, the joke's about to be crazy.
But you get my point.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
legit.
tool.
It
Doesn't have a personality behind it.
It's all about logic, and that whole debate is logical. And
Yeah.
if someone isn't logical, then that's on them, and it sucks to suck. And you lost that debate. I'm kidding. But for abortion, it was always difficult because it was about your own personal morals and beliefs. And people these days, they aren't, or I should say, kids in our age aren't taught the same morals that we are.
Yeah.
And some of them may be similar, but they don't get the teaching, or they don't get the morals imprinted on them. And it's hard to clash morals with morals because they're 2 different morals, right? And whenever you say, well, life starts at conception, because it does, people don't think like that because it doesn't look like a human being, and it's just a cell.
Yeah.
And besides us, no one cares about that little tiny cell or fetus. And
also another thing too is that because you're saying moral versus moral, like ethic versus ethic.
yeah,
At the end of the day, morals and ethics, from the like, dare I say, make the pun of conception of the idea, is that when the Greek philosophers of old were making up the idea of what is a moral and virtue, like what is ethics, it had to be based on an already established good and wrong.
right.
Like
And
right and wrong.
but that good and wrong isn't established in this
Yeah.
day and age.
If you don't believe in something greater than yourself, there is no necessary right or wrong in the world. you have to decide that for yourself, and that changes a lot of people's perspectives
Like
on everything.
like Pastor Andrew said, our day and age, or the spirit of our age. I like that term. It said the world says to look within. Well, when you look within, everyone's gonna have very different, maybe not different, but very wrong things in there, because within is ugly. From within is very ugly, and it.
It is. I will say, the topic of abortion is an interesting topic because it is the only place. Well, not the only. There's some other places where I can name where a handful of religions will agree on the same thing, but generally all religions agree, or at least the majority of people who are in a religious community and have actual set theology and beliefs
Yes.
will agree on abortion and that it's generally a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's true for basically all religions. There's a handful you could name that might not be accurate.
Right.
But for the majority of religions, you could be agreeing with a Muslim or with a Catholic or something who could have a totally different worldview of you on everything else, but on that one topic, because you both believe in a greater good universe, your opinion is similar.
And in most of those religions, life is.
What?
Is that your stomach?
No.
Then what did
What?
I hear?
Guilty conscience.
He's tripping, bro's tripping.
He's hungry.
I heard. Okay. Besides the point.
Point is,
What was I on?
I don't know.
religions agreeing on abortion.
Yes. So most of them agree on as you were saying, on the topic of abortion. And what I was about to say was life doesn't start when they come out of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
It starts in the womb. That's the literal start of human life.
Yeah.
And that's what makes most of us agree on this topic. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
talking too much.
it's like
I'm not talking too much. It's just I'm running out of juice.
valid. Get him a monster.
Don't.
Just,
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Knox gonna be tweaking. Yeah, I think that I wish I had been in some of those situations where I could have experienced some of those personally, because like being in a situation where I'm agreeing with someone who's like Muslim or Jewish would have been very interesting of an experience to get to talk to that person and get to know them, because it kind of opens your worldview up a little bit when you realize that there are people who agree with you, just not in the same way that they agree with you, you know? So if I dare, we can cut this out if you don't like, but you grew up in a very different religious context than the rest
I
of us.
did. I grew up Mormon.
I did not know this.
You didn't know
You
that?
didn't know
I
this?
did not know. I did not
I've
know
been
this.
hiding it.
That's not
Bro,
a
bro
secret.
just doesn't pay attention when I talk to him.
No, you did
he's
not.
not
You,
listening
no,
to Jacob.
he has
I
actually
swear-
not said.
no,
No,
I
you have
swear
not
I've
told me
told
this.
you like twice
You have
now.
not told me this. I
Austin,
know.
Austin,
I know. I would have known.
Austin, I'd like you to pay attention.
I would have
need
known.
your
I
attention.
would have
Okay,
known.
I
I
do feel
would
like
have known.
Austin would have remembered, but
I would have known.
I don't know.
it could be that it just like
It
generally
was-
people at Chick-fil-A already know, so like it doesn't get brought up again, you know, because like, everyone already
Yeah,
knows it.
but I grew up.
I did not know.
Mormon, so it was a lot different. And then I went through I think I was Mormon until I was about 14, but I was active in the church till about 10, and then I kind of phased myself out of it. And then I wasn't atheist. I was kind of agnostic. I believed in the Lord, but I didn't know what religion exactly to believe in.
Right.
And so I went through a time where I was just I know he's there, but I didn't ever try to have that relationship with him.
Yeah.
And then I shout out to Roger, because I went and up to him. I was like, I think I'm ready to figure out what I actually believe. And I went up to him and I asked him, hey, can we pull aside one day and have a conversation? And he pulled me aside. We went to a cafe and we sat there for 2.5 hours. He answered every single question I had. Because I'm gonna be honest, I was not a good little Christian boy. I messed up. I made mistakes. And I had questions that needed very important answers to me. I will not explain, but let's just say illegality.
Happens to the best of
It
us.
happens.
I grew up in a very slummy city, and if I'd stayed there, it probably would have been very bad for me, even as a Christian.
And honestly, that's where I can attest, friends make everything.
Oh yeah.
Because, one of my old friends, I just, recently got him out of my life for this, but, he would always kind of, peer pressure me into, smoking with him. You can cut that out if you don't want me talking about it. I don't really care.
That's fine.
But, he always, would peer pressure me into it.
Yeah.
And, it felt like he was almost hey, you should do it, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I can see how it's affecting you.
Right.
No.
He would, he,
Well,
well,
when they're tweaking out, and
yeah,
they
when
want
they're
someone else
tweaking
to
out,
tweak
they
with
want
them.
and they want it with you. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I did eventually give in, but it wasn't to like him. It was to like my ex's sister's boyfriend, because he literally came up to me like, "If you want it, it's there." Like, it's the difference in the people, and like that's where I gave in. I was like, it didn't feel like the peer pressure.
Right.
But then when I like found like Jesus, and I was like realizing everything, I was like, that needs to go. Like, I was never addicted to it. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
I'm literally staring Jack in the eyes.
That's
while I
okay.
say
That's
this.
fine. That's fine.
But like, I was never like addicted. I would do it like every once in a while, like just kind of like social situations.
Yeah.
Kind of like with
alcohol,
smoking
Yeah.
cigars and stuff.
Yeah, like I only do it like socially, and it's like to realize that it.
I'm not laughing at you.
It's all in
I'll
related.
hurt you.
It's absolutely
I'll hurt you.
unrelated.
No,
But, like-
like
Because whenever it's people talk about like temptation, especially in like peer pressure situations, I always kind of think about like, you know, in the Garden of Eden, the serpent didn't even necessarily say, "Hey, you should do this thing. It's really good for you. I'm doing it too. It'll be fun if we both eat this apple."
Yeah.
He got to the root of the problem that would lead them to saying it. He was like, "But did God really say that was bad?" You know, like he didn't necessarily. He wasn't like, "You should do it. You should do it. You should do it." He got into their heart first, and then they chose for themselves.
it was like that security that that man gave me. I'll just say that man because I don't want to dox his name. But it was the security that he gave me because like he was very chill about it. He's
Right.
like and when we were done, he's like, "Hey, I know it's your first time. If you need anything, you come to my room immediately." Because we were dog sitting because they were out of town and he worked morning, I worked night, so it was just convenient.
Right.
So like, peer pressure's bad, guys.
Don't fall into peer
Don't
pressure.
fall into it, especially if they're just like very chill about it. That's where they get you.
Yeah.
Or if they're like constantly pressuring you into getting a
Yeah.
PC or something out.
I know.
You literally want one.
Like, I'll be honest, I never gave into that like pushy peer pressure. It was
Yeah.
like always like, dude, you're
If
just
it's-
kind of
if it's
showing
too
me
in
the
your-
signs why not to.
Yeah, if it's too in your face about it, then you're like, ugh, that's
Yeah.
annoying. But when it's more subtle, it kind of sits in your head for long enough.
Mhm.
That's how it really gets you.
It's just kind of bruised in there.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, you had a very different, I mean, similar but different upbringing, especially, you know, because I mean, a lot of people debate about whether Mormonism is Christian or not, right? Like, there's just so much confusion amongst the teachings in the Mormon Church compared to Protestant or Catholic churches.
There's
that,
a lot
like-
of contradictions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot
It was
more.
all
It's
contradictions.
all confusion, right? And no one can really answer your question.
And it was honestly a lot more about the works than it was the relationship with
Oh, yeah.
God. Like, I go to your service before, and I go to one with Roger. Your service, hour and a half. When I was Mormon, it was like 3.5 hours. You'd have your big sermons for an hour, and you'd go into groups. It would be like the young adults would all go one way, and then the adults would stay in like the sermon room, and then you'd split up again, boys and girls. Then you'd split up even more, and then combine after the end. It was
crazy.
like 8 different sessions in one. It felt
Oh my
like
gosh.
it almost felt like going to work. Like, I got up in the morning, it was
Gotta
like,
clock
what?
in at the Mormon
It was
Church.
like, what excuse can I make to not go today?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I've learned, like, I feel like an interesting thing about my interactions with people who are Mormon or grew up Mormon has been that I've learned a lot about different teachings in the Mormon Church, but when I actually ask Mormons about it, all of them have different views about what they actually learned, you know, and what they actually believe. No one has any like one set dogma on certain topics and stuff that like it seems congruent over multiple different churches. Whereas if you go to the same Protestant church, generally, I'm not saying it's accurate for all churches, but like they all follow a basic code that is true at all churches, you know. And so it was interesting when I would be like, I'll ask them, I'm like, do you guys believe this? They're like, no, I've never heard of that in my life. I'm like, I know I've heard other people talk about this. You know, other people who are Mormon talk about this, and then they don't. So it was always weird how confusing, like how
Yeah.
little information there actually was about the teaching.
It was very different. And then we had something before school called seminary, where it was like morning church. You'd go in, and it was before school, so you're up at like 6 in the morning, going in and learning more every single day.
Yeah.
It was
Wait,
just
did you grow up around here?
Yeah, I grew up here. I've been here my
Okay, I don't know if you're from like Utah or
No,
something.
I've lived, I'm not even gonna lie. I've lived. If you go down 28th, I've lived less than a minute from either.
I have
That's
some of my side of my family all Mormon.
Oh, they all from Utah?
Yeah.
Not me. Don't worry.
I was say it is kind of it's the joke, but also if you look back enough on most people's family trees, if they're Mormon but don't live in Utah, it usually goes back to Utah at some point.
So what I'm hearing is I need to go do some family research.
Yeah,
Find who it was.
Ancestor DNA.
Find the culprit.
He's secretly Utah. Yeah.
Find the culprit.
So how? Because let's see, 14. So you kind of had just gotten out of the Mormon church once you entered high school.
Yes.
Right? How did that change things for you? You think?
Honestly, I kind of just grew to how the world wanted you to grow. You know, like my language slipped a lot more, and honestly, it still slips a lot. Like I had to tell Roger, "Hey, you gotta calm me down at football, bro." I noticed it come out more because today the guys were
high adrenaline.
The guys were going. We're just being, and I literally had to pull Roger aside. Hey, come slap me on the back of the head if I'm getting too much.
Yeah.
But like, my
Really.
language became worse, and then I didn't seem to care about what other people wanted. It was me for at least for the first year and a half of high school, and I kind of blame it more on middle school though, because middle school is where everyone's like, oh, I'm really cool, I'm gangster type thing. I was like, everyone's out here cursing because they think it's so cool at 12, 13 years old, and it's like, dude, that's just.
It's like the
that's
first.
almost weird.
Wait, how often? Like, wait, did you go to a Mormon school up to a certain point?
No, I never went to a Mormon school. I was.
Oh, you just. Okay.
I went through.
I don't know if there was
Burton.
Mormon schools. Is there Mormons? Probably.
Oh, there is.
Probably.
Yeah, that's got.
But I went from like Burton to Cascade to Evergreen. That was the path. It was literally all in a row. All schools were on the same block.
Yeah.
So I never once like left those schools.
Yeah, I feel like middle school is where people actually start to begin like
They're rebellious.
going
phase.
crazy. Yeah, because they kind of
Who
realize
they
like,
are.
I have free will. I can do
Yeah.
whatever I want.
Like, who am I gonna be the next like 8 years of my life in
the
school?
switch from 5th grade to, or I should say like beginning of 6th grade, the switch between the beginning of 6th grade and middle year of 6th grade
Is insane.
it was crazy because in 5th grade, you know, there's some kids would curse and stuff, but they'd actually get punished.
Yeah,
for
there
it.
was no tolerance for it.
No tolerance. And
Bro, to double check what I was
Like, wait a
saying. He's like, hold up, wait a minute.
He figured it out.
But then going from elementary to middle school, oh my goodness, dude, they just like it was like
Yeah,
that.
like a flip of
Yeah.
a switch almost.
You're like, what the heck happened?
It's because
I was very convenient. I got out right before middle school.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, you are lucky. But like the 8th graders influenced the 7th graders, and the 7th graders influenced
Yes.
the 6th graders.
That's exactly what happened.
And it was just like that pyramid of like,
and this is why elementary school. This is why elementary school stays. Well, I don't know about now. 'cause-
no, it's bad these days. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Okay,
worse.
but when I was in elementary school, there wasn't much influence going down from middle school. It was only from like the 5th graders, and the 5th graders were still kept in very much check.
Yeah, because they didn't have that influence from the middle school.
Right. Yeah.
They really kept us like hidden from those middle schools, and I can't think of more, but I can't imagine who I would be if I had the influence from the 8th graders when I was in 4th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine.
Corruption
Terrible.
starts early.
Yeah, corruption
It really does,
Yeah.
honestly, especially from the parents. If the child's parents does not like have any rules or doesn't discipline their children, they're gonna have a rough time in elementary school. At least
Yeah.
when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure it's way different. They would have a rough time. Most of the kids who weren't disciplined had a very like not fun time.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that is like, I know for me in middle school, I was not allowed to say bad words around my family.
Right.
So like, it was almost a flip of a switch. I walked out of the house, I was a different person from middle school, and I walked back and I'm like, yep, I'm a goody two shoes now. It was like a flip of a switch, and I guarantee you that's how it is for a lot of those kids.
Probably true for the majority of
Yeah.
kids, you know. So, yeah, I think it is odd. Just it was a good time for me to get out of school when I did.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Which there was a multitude of reasons why my mom did pull us out of school, and she did. But like, even in 5th grade, the kids I was interacting with, I was like, these people are gross. Like, I was not one to give in to the peer pressure flip because I was so, like, you know, my family was very strict on those types of things. But like,
You grew up in a Baptist church?
yeah, Baptist, it's like basically just non-denominational.
Okay.
Like 80% of churches I say they're non-denom are actually just Baptist. So
Okay.
they're just
No,
Baptist. They just don't want to say it.
So
But like,
what exactly is the difference between like a Protestant church or
Protestant is the umbrella. Baptist is part of the Protestant church.
okay? Then what's the niche of Baptists?
Baptists, they have a big focus. Okay, I'd say Baptists are very focused on baptism, if you could believe it. They're very strong on baptism, but also just they're more like they're not, because the kind of the other opposite side of the spectrum is charismatic churches, where Protestants are very straight edged. It's like no swearing, no smoking, no drinking. Everyone's totally like there's no dancing or like singing too loud in church. There's nothing too crazy. It's
For
very
Baptists.
yeah, it's very like straight edged. Everyone is like, it's like the type of church where you're just like you gotta dress up for Sunday school. You know?
Oh,
Like-
let me tell you, that was the.
Oh, in Mormon church it's way worse. I
Worse.
bet that.
It was the worst.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, it's dress shirt, slacks,
Yeah.
socks, dress shoes. It was the worst. And let me tell you, I got a cowlick in the back of my hair. I had short buzz cut hair back then. I looked like Austin with a big poof in the back of my head though. Like I had hair sticking up like this. I was like, nah, that's why I grow my hair out long. I don't want to deal with it no
That's
more.
based. Yeah.
And then
that's-
hair gel. I hate hair gel now, bro.
That's actually
It was every
it's
week,
real.
dude. It was every week, and it was the worst to get out of your hair.
Oh yeah.
I spent like 20 minutes in the shower just trying to get. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. I think also my family we were very self-led in the church, I would say, because when we were young, or when I was young, I should say, we had several like kind of church hurt moments that kind of pushed us away from the church we were in. And so we
Okay.
swapped churches several times. And so there's a lot of the things that we did, we had to guide ourselves through it. We didn't have a consistent church family to always guide us when we were like teaching our kids, and like, you know, the basis of our faith was not often the church we were in necessarily, but the church that we had built with our own family.
Right.
And so I like, you know, I got my mouth washed out with soap when I swore when I was a kid, and after that I never struggled with swearing after that. But like,
Yeah, that was-
it's like, I think even then I was acting the same when I at home when I was at school, but I was seeing the kids I was around and being like, these people are like not my friends.
One of the thing is,
I got bullied a lot in elementary school, and I didn't realize
No way.
until I wait a second, that's crazy.
You're telling me this guy wasn't bullied?
I mean, you can tell. No, but like, it was weird though, because when I was a kid, I thought it was just like, this is just how people treated each other. I'm not even kidding. I was so dumb as a kid. I was like, oh, people just do this to each other all the time. And then not until I was in like,
What exactly did they do?
like a kid pulled me in my chair and beat me on the ground. Like,
Hey, yo, what? In
so-
elementary?
yeah, I was like 5th grade. He literally pulled me in my
Yo.
chair and like was kicking me in the head and stuff and all this crazy stuff.
What
And people would
the
like,
heck?
I mean, I
call me
thought I
terrible
had
things.
some bad
I-
elementary
I would
school
go home-
experiences. This man just one up me by 10.
I would go home and I would like be talking with my siblings and I would call them like a slur and they'd be like, "Where did you learn that?" And I was like, "My friend at school called me that." Literally, I
Your
was
friend.
80%, like half the swears I learned were like friends, people bullying me and being mean to me, and like I learned words of that or through like YouTube because I was exposed to a lot of internet when I was way too young. But like that was part of the reason why I got pulled out of school so early, is because I was pretty horrifically bullied throughout elementary school, and
He couldn't take any more.
I literally couldn't take anymore. And like there was like a school shooting that happened at my sister's high school, and like my friends were getting forced into like gender study classes that were like enforced by the school that everyone had to take, and they would like, it was all this crazy stuff because Eugene's kind of not the nicest place in the world.
I forget
No,
you
no,
were
it's
in
not.
Eugene. as well.
Eugene,
It's not.
yeah,
So
it's
that's
not.
it's a little
It's a
different.
very different culture there than here, and other things too. And I realized this afterwards, like 90% of the kids there come from divorced families. Their parents are not together. Their parents are horrible to each other. They're alcoholics. They're abusers. And I know why those kids would lash out at me, and I don't blame or take anything personally.
Right.
But I know that being someone who grew up in a family that was together and had actual support systems and cared for one another made people hate me even more and want to bully me more, because they were like, he has the thing that I want and I'm jealous of that. And it was all out of envy really at the end of the day. And it's hard to look back on it and be like, all those kids were hurting inside and they didn't know how to deal with their own emotions because they didn't have anyone to guide them, because kids don't know how to deal with their own emotions.
Right.
You know, kids are like, oh wow, this is a weird feeling, I'm gonna go beat someone up at school today. I'm gonna go call them a slur.
Yeah, sorry, my bad, guys. I
Literally.
got those temptations. I was the one that actually beat up Jack. I would teleport from here to Eugene.
I
and
was
go, like,
cooked.
One
I was
punch to the
cooked.
face. you know?
Mollywopped. Yeah, but it's just a weird thing too, because like the people who would bully me as a kid are still friends with my old friends from Eugene, and like it's just a weird thing that just like the way that it kind of changed throughout time and like.
Did you? I have a question. Did you like? I know you guys were in public school like your whole life pretty much. Did you guys see people change like as you went
Yes.
up like a lot like change as
Yes.
completely as different?
Yeah, I
Big
mean,
time.
actually, there's a guy, I still know him now. He, ironically, in 5th grade, we were in like a little band, and the 2 guys in the band both played flute, and we were the only 2 that played flute. Bro, that man has changed so much. For like, he if he watches this, he's gonna know I'm talking about him. But like,
Talk too
he
much.
he dipped, and then he's become such a great person. Like, I've reached out to him recently about some things that have been going like in his life from something that was in my past, and like he's kept me updated, even though he knows nothing about like my past with that person. He's kept me updated on how they're doing and all that, and I can't thank him enough.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone from when I was really young, obviously. But
Yeah.
I think in myself, the amount of change that I experienced throughout each phase of like my education was like really bizarre.
For me, I think it was the opposite of like what you experienced in your, because elementary school, there's a lot of kids that like they weren't great kids.
Most kids aren't.
No way.
But the thing is that at least in my elementary school, a lot of the kids there were like they were pretty nice, and sure there's quite a few annoying ones, but like for the most part they're all decent. For not all people, but for a select few of people, especially I'm not talking about the way they act, because most of them even now are still they're kind people. But man, the way things, I think it was actually innocence is what just left.
Yeah.
That for like the amount of like how do I say this? For me, I think it was mainly the girls. Is that when like from elementary school, they're all innocent and they don't care. Middle school, I was naive and I didn't really catch on to anything. And then like that's just how it was. And then high school, I was like, dude, half of these girls are
I want to say that's the intro clip, but I don't think I can put that.
No, you
in there.
can't.
you can do
You can't. You might have to bleep that out. But it's just genuinely how it was. And like, there was the first part of me that was like, man, like that's kind of like there was the judgmental part that like first came in. And you're like, man, that's like dumb. Why would you do that? But then there's like the sentimental, or not sentimental. I don't know the word I'm looking
word
for.
to help you this time.
Like sympathetic side.
Yes, the sympathetic side. That's like, man, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I never liked seeing people who are evil to themselves or another person and be like, man, that person's evil. Because I know all people struggle, all people struggle with sin.
Right.
Right. And it's like, I try, it's the instinct to judge. Right. When you think about it twice, you often will feel much worse about, the person, and you feel bad for them, really.
yeah.
So, you've told me some stories about things you've witnessed in school, and I'm like, gosh, dang, that's ridiculous that any of that flies in high school.
Yeah.
And I do think it is very. I think a lot of kids just, I mean, especially I think amongst guys, it seems like, lose their humanity a lot sooner and forget to use it. And it's something you have to kind of relearn when you get older and realize that you have to have your humanity to be a human.
Yeah.
And so when people say they hate kids, they were like, kids are horrible. It's like, yeah, it's kind of accurate, but it's only because we're living in a world where their humanity is not practiced or exercised.
Yeah.
Instead, it's all, it's not being used. And it's like use it or lose it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't use it, you lose it. And then for guys, I think the thing that changed was I think the maturity level was just kept going up and down. Like,
You think it went back up?
No.
I think it was just a slow decline.
Okay,
I
look.
think it was a decline. Then you
I think it was different for every person. It was different.
It was different for every person. For some people, it just went like they started mature and then just they went to rock bottom. Some people, they were totally immature and then they turn out to be the most mature person I know in high school. And then some people, they just kept like kind of flip flopping on like So are you mature? Or are you like,
Or do you just have multiple personalities?
Okay. Yeah.
Bro's got bipolar disorder.
Just like no.
But like, yeah, I think maturity is not something that can often be taught.
No.
Honestly,
No,
like
no.
it's very much a learned thing, but it's not taught.
Yeah.
Right? You're influenced by people around you about your maturity, and I feel like I part of the reason why so many people in high school were like, how old are you? 19, 20? I'm like, I'm 16. But it's just like, it's because I was not often exposed to people who were implicitly immature, that like my maturity was never influenced by the maturity of others. Right? It was entirely based on myself. And
when I was like 15, people thought I was 12. Mainly because I had a baby face, but like
I say now everyone thinks I'm like 14.
Bro, everyone thinks I'm 27.
think
I swear it's the facial hair. But I'm
doesn't
gonna
do
shave
it.
and
I
go
don't
up
do
and
it.
ask them and be like, how about I look now? And they're gonna be like 25.
I think I now kind of look my age, 18.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind
But-
of thought you were older than both of them. I thought you were 20. I thought you were my
Yo,
age.
people-
It's the 9 to 5.
It's the
It's
9
the
to
75.
5's getting to you.
I've been told that I
It's a
look
joke.
20. Someone at work.
I can see that.
Yeah. Dude, Rita was appalled when she learned I wasn't 21. I told her I was 18. She was like, "You're not 21?" I'm like, "No." I was appalled. Rita's a coworker of ours.
Okay, actually, now I think about it, some of the interactions I've had with people, like I'll say, yeah, I'm 18, and then they'll be like, you're a baby. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm sure you know which interaction
yeah.
I'm talking about.
It flip flops in life. I realized, because you either go from the top of the food chain to the bottom very quickly,
Yeah.
back and forth like 3 times.
It's
So
like,
in elementary, you're like 5th grade, 6th grade, you're the youngest, 8th grade, freshman,
yeah,
and then it even keeps in
Senior.
in college. You go from I'm a senior in high school, I'm in college, and I'm like I'm still a baby adult, and everyone else here has
Yeah.
been doing it for a while. So
well, a
Generally.
little bit longer than you have.
Yeah.
I think, because you're only 2 years above us. 1 year
I'm
above
just
him.
better.
skill diff. We should have just been born sooner, honestly.
Yeah, come on, guys.
For real.
This life isn't that hard. Come on.
I'm
You
dead,
could have been
should've
born
hurried
early.
up.
That's crazy. I feel like maturity. I think that most people, after all the wildness of school,
Mhm.
after graduation, most people end up in around the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, even with people in our own small group who we were like, I'm not gonna name names, but we can all admit that there are a handful of us who are especially not mature often, but they've bounced back really well, and now it's like they're like the most mature person we know sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh.
like they're not
Yeah.
the most mature we know, but like it's weird when you look back on it and
Yeah.
like you're saying, how much people.
I
flip-flop
think
sometimes, you know?
I think it's not exactly it is maturity, but it's them knowing the right time and place.
Yeah,
I think
also
that's one of the biggest things with some of the people that we know is them knowing the right time and place. I think that applies to me as well, because there's been sometimes where I have absolutely read it like done the wrong time, wrong place, and
happens to all of us.
yeah, but
I also think like maybe the kid inside most guys doesn't fully ever go away. It just depends on where they let it out that like will influence their maturity.
mhm.
Because there's just certain places where it's like it is appropriate, and there's places where it's just not appropriate
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
People really do impact that more than people think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you're around people who are immature at the wrong times, you'll probably end up being immature at the wrong times too if you don't learn from them. If you're easily pressured into that, But if you're around people who are always mature at the perfect time, then you're probably going to seem more mature than the people, So, I think maturity is less of a spectrum and more like you're saying,
Right time, right
right
place.
time, right place, right. So like everyone knows the same amount. It just depends on if you use it all and where you use it all.
Yeah.
So, well, let's get on to our last question. Let's see. So, the question is, we can rephrase it a couple ways if we would like, but what was life after high school like? What did you do? Do you wish it was different, and do you still not know? I think just generally our question is like, how has life after graduation changed, and are
What
we
are
happy
the
with it?
yeah? What are the paths we took for it?
Yeah.
Because there's no one right path.
Oh yeah. I agree.
And I think that was like my biggest thing is when I was coming out of high school, I had these 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds who graduated 10 years ago telling me, this is the right path. This is what you need to do.
It's not the right path. It's the one
And
I took.
this is the one I took. This is the one
Or
you should do.
or
This is
some
that.
some of them will tell you I took the wrong path. You should take this path.
Yeah, they try to almost guide you to the path they wanted. They wish they did.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
That is an important thing to note. When people
Yeah.
tell you, oh, this is what you should do, or like give it advice, it's not necessarily the right path. It's the path that they wish they had taken, or have taken and proved that to be correct. But like you're saying, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily any one answer is more true than another. I think so. Unless you're staying stagnant, that's a wrong answer.
Yeah, that is always wrong.
If you do nothing, that is the only wrong answer is making no answer, basically.
It's like kind of like the book we were reading through at The Verge.
Yeah. Like if you, at the end of the day, if you just start making decisions, you're gonna find which ones are the right ones, which ones are the wrong ones, and you can fix the wrong decisions.
you'll learn
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, and you'll learn
wrong
from them.
decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you make good decisions, is by making wrong decisions.
Yeah.
I think.
So, I mean, we're much more recently out of high school, but also it's like it's been a
It was like
couple months
4
now.
months.
It's been like half a year since we've graduated.
Oh my
No, it's
gosh,
not.
it's been 4 months, guys. It's almost like it's been 2 years for me. That's crazy.
Very different, but like, right, because we're still early in it, and
Yeah.
I don't think it would be appropriate for any of us to make a judgment call on if we're making the right choice yet.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't
because
even. I
it's too
wouldn't even
early.
say if I'm making the right call yet.
Right. Or even if we were saying that like we're like
Right now we're in our
based off.
experimental age for finding careers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it's just what I don't know.
In the past like 3 months, I went through like 3 different desires for careers. I'm like I am still flip flopping back and forth between multiple. So it's very right, like you're saying, experimental time. It's still very early in our.
Is even if you
adulthood.
like start a job and you do it for 7 years, if I were to start a job let's say I stick with the job
Stick
right
with the job you
now
never know.
for 7 years, I'm still only 25 years old.
Yeah.
Like I still have I still have time to really,
Yeah.
flip flop on what I want to do or change gears, I should say.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a good thing in that stage of life to flip flop between certain things. Right now, it's like you're still making decisions. That's fine. But I think when you start getting into your mid-20s, is a good time to just, if you're wanting to get out of something, go use your experience that you've had from those past 7 years of decision making. Even though it's the same job, there's still decisions to be made, and that. Gosh dang it, dude.
Make sure your mic is close to your
No,
face.
it was muted.
No.
Yeah.
I did not even realize that. I was just telling you to
It
keep it close to
wasn't
your
muted
mouth.
long. I can almost guarantee it wasn't muted.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
It wasn't muted since.
If not, it was caught on the other mics at least a little
Yeah,
bit. So it's not
at
even
least a little.
You can still hear. You can still hear.
Most
You
of
may
it.
not be
Well.
pulling the mic out here. You probably
But when you get up into your mid-20s, I'll just rephrase. It's a good idea to change gears if you want to change gears, I should say. And I lost my train of thought.
Austin, take it away.
Yeah, Austin, get away with it.
Oh no.
Well, how do you past few months, we've talked a little bit about things that you are considering and have been doing, and how do you feel like the last few months have been for you, being out of high school?
I mean, it's really just been, of course, just a lot of work and just, I'm still deciding, so I don't really know. It just,
You've talked about a lot of different paths.
even through high school, yeah, I was like, oh, I feel like I might do this. Like, I
Pilot.
thought I was going to be set on the military. And then it came to senior year, I'm like, I don't think I want to, end of senior year, I'm like, I don't think I want to do this.
I'm kind of glad you did. Not gonna lie. I'm glad you're still here.
I'm
Me too.
not. Get him out of here. He's taking my spot on the podcast.
Because we've talked about school recently, because I started school up again, and you had expressed at least a little bit of interest in what would going back to school look like for you, and what has been guiding you in kind of thinking about that idea and toying with it at least a little bit. I know you're saying you have to seriously consider it, but for you personally, how has that been affecting your day-to-day decisions?
Say that again?
Bro, zoned out.
So we talked about school.
Yeah.
We talked about doing trade schools and stuff. And how has the idea of school and going back to school changed the way you kind of operate with your current work and stuff in life?
I guess it's really just me thinking. I'm just really thinking every day of just, how am I trying to say this?
On to the next.
I feel like I think, I don't know what to say, bro.
You
I-
think through every decision, and then you kind of get over.
I almost I overthink it so much. I'm like, wait, maybe I shouldn't do that.
You almost convince yourself it's not a good idea.
Yeah, 'cause I'm thinking too much about it.
That's fair.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I think it
That
happens
happens.
to everyone. You kind of start thinking about
that
it.
makes
Well,
sense.
this is actually the negatives, and do the negatives overwhelm the good,
Yeah.
or they'll want to be in that.
But it's also been a lot of just like praying and just like, God,
Oh yeah.
is this what you want me to do?
So, see, the thing is,
But it's also
that
like,
it's kind of your decision. As
well, yes, it's not. I mean, I'm not saying.
Because like it's a good thing to pray on that,
Yeah.
but it's not really a good thing to have to pray for God to tell you which one to do, because
Well, more not that. More is praying. Whatever I do.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
You
whatever
make
you
it.
do,
Whatever I do, make it so it will be glorifying God and yeah.
I think
Right, and
another important prayer is to pray for God to give you peace in that decision.
Yeah.
Because you know, sometimes you'll make a decision and you'll be like, oh, I don't know if that was the right one.
That's what I'm saying. Like the
Sometimes-
overthinking it,
Sometimes
like
you
just giving
you'll just have
peace.
to, like you just have to pray to God, Lord, even if this isn't really the quote unquote right choice, just give me peace in this decision because you've given me free will to make decisions.
yeah, and I think peace is a big thing about decision making, because even if a decision doesn't give you a full sense of like this is totally the thing that's right, and
Mhm.
like you are 100% certain that that's the right choice, as long as you are, if at the end of the day you're walking into that situation thinking, I'm going to thank God if this goes the right way, or I'm going to thank God if it goes the wrong way,
Yeah.
then it's probably not a bad choice, right? Like, if you can walk out of a situation and say, that wasn't what God had for me, and I'm totally fine with that, I learned from that, then that's still growth. You're still making a difference in your journey with Christ and with, your personal career. But if you are going to a decision and you're like, if this doesn't work out for me, I'm screwed, then it's probably not the right choice for you. If you can't walk out of it and be like, that was okay if that didn't go my way. Because like, I'm applying for team leader right now at work, and like, I'm walking into it thinking, if I get this, it was God's will. If I don't get this, it's still God's will. So whatever happens is going to be for His glory anyways. And I'm thankful and grateful for what I have now, and if I have that, But if I was like, if I don't get this, I'm going to quit, and I'm going to hate my life, then that's probably not a choice I should even have.
He rage quit, guys. He rage quit.
I'd rage quit if I don't get accepted. But like, that's a big thing, because I went back to school, and going back to college is not a very, smile upon a thing in the communities that I'm in right now. A lot of people are very anti-college, but like at the end of the day, when I go into it and I'm thinking, if this doesn't go the way I want it to, I still will have learned valuable things out of it.
Right.
And I won't walk out of it feeling like I made a bad choice. I just didn't make the right one.
Right.
And that's fine. And like, especially at the end of the day when I'm like, I'm thinking so hard about my future and like what it's going to look like after I graduate. And then I kind of put it back into perspective where it's like, if everything goes according to plan, as it is right now at my current pace, I'm going to graduate with my bachelor's the same year I turn 20. That's not something most people can say is true, right? Like, that is a very uncommon thing for people to say is true.
Try hard.
Yeah, like when I was like debating, like, okay, should I take a year and like take a break and kind of focus on myself? And I was like, even then, if I had taken a gap year between college or high school and college, like high school and college, because I was doing college and high school, like I still would have graduated at 21, which is still really early for people with a bachelor. That's still 2 years earlier than most people do. So like at the end of the day, it's like if I says the wrong choice, I still have so much time to make a better choice. And even if it's the right choice, I will still have so much time to keep doing other things that I also want to do. Like I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do missions too. I kind of want to go try this. It's like, if I graduate at 20, I still have a lot of time in my 20s to spend doing X, Y, Z, and enter a thing that I want to do here. It gives me a lot more peace to be like, it's okay to do things at the pace I'm at, but it's not like a dire issue for me to be like, I have to get it done right now, or like it's gonna be horrible if I have to wait.
Right.
That has made the decision much easier. And going back to school was the decision out of all the things I considered over the summer, was the one thing where I was like, yeah, this feels like I have the most peace and security doing this, right? Because every other path that I was looking at was just like so much question marks and just debating and like, I don't know if this is the right choice. Whereas with this one, it was like, even if I don't, like, if it even doesn't go the way I'm thinking it will, I still will have spent my time in school learning more about God.
Right.
You know, so that has made things easier for me personally. It's just like the feeling of that peace and security. You know, especially with time. I feel like time is a big thing when you get out of high school. You feel like you're in such a rush to like settle down and like get a home and have have kids and start building your 401k. It's like
Okay,
I'm still a
That's
teen.
what I'm kind of been thinking is like, cause
Sucks, I can't even start building my 401k with the company I'm at.
Really?
Yeah, I have to be 20 and a half.
Oh
20 and a half
Like,
is crazy.
bro's trying
It's
to
so
beat me.
specific.
like I want as like, cause my first thought was like I want to take a year, but it's also like I kind of don't want to take a year because it's like almost like I want to decide what I'm doing, but I feel like that's kind of can be a bad mindset. Is like I need to find stability and just do this for the rest of my life. But I feel like giving it a year is a better thing to do. It's just like
Yeah.
trying to
There's no harm in it. Really,
yeah.
You know, it's as long as you're not using the year to be lazy.
Yeah.
You know, I know people who like, or people who took a gap year and just didn't do anything with it. You know, but if you, I'm not pointing fingers at you, bro.
Pointing fingers, guys.
Guilty conscience. No, I'm kidding. But like, a gap year is only a bad thing if someone like is like, I'm gonna take a gap year and they spend it all like partying and drinking and stuff. It's like, well, okay, maybe don't do that.
How'd you know?
But also, again, I kind of have to still want to be like, I'm already ahead of what most people are, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not like, I don't find pride in that necessarily, but it's just like, I don't have to go as fast as I am going. I can go at my own pace, and that's fine, you know? So that does help a lot, too. It's just like not feeling rushed. So,
Yeah, I was the person that took that gap year. Well, it wasn't exactly a year. So we graduated in like till June, July, something like that. I can't remember right now. But I had a vacation in December, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to let myself be a kid.
yeah.
I'm going to go do the things I wanted to do while I was in high school and just never did. So I took that like 5-6 months and was like, that's what I'm going to do with this. And I told my parents, hey, this is my plan. I will lock in after this. I'll get a job. I'll go do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But let me just not feel like I'm being rushed into the adult world yet.
Yeah.
I felt like Austin either with the stutter.
Every time someone stutters, it points back to Austin.
Hey, you there?
I'm just thinking.
I was thinking so hard.
Bro was so deep in thought. He's
Like
staring at the floor.
What are you thinking about?
Staring at
Though?
Jack's feet.
Yeah, he is.
Dogs.
I wonder how they look on Fee Finders. What he thought. That's his
Hey, if
thought.
it gets me paid, that's all I need. What are you thinking about? Can I ask?
I'm just saying about like I kind of already said this, but like I wanna do a gap year. I mean, of course I'm like working, so I'm technically doing something. But I also feel like when I'm not doing something, I feel like it's just like a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not working, if I have a day off, it's like I could be either working right now or doing something more productive, but like I'm not. So like I've been almost like, especially recently, I'm like, what can I do on these off days that is productive that can help me?
Oh yeah, that's productive.
Streaming.
No, I'm saying during the day. Like
Stream during
I'm
the
not saying I
day,
can.
there's
I
no
don't.
problem with that.
But normally I don't.
Yeah, that was
It's like,
kind of the thing that
I don't
drove me
know.
back to school too. I was just like, I had the whole summer where I was doing nothing, and I was like, wow, I feel like
Okay.
I'm wasting
And that's
away.
also driving me to like, should I work full time? Because if I'm not doing anything, I might as well just be working full time.
Yeah.
And if not,
Join us.
I should like apply to a school and see if I get in.
Yeah.
Whatever. Liberty's been freaking on my butt with voicemails, bro.
Really? Did you give them your number?
My mom did. Shout out. I mean, because they have like an aviation
wrong,
program.
Oh yeah, they do.
They're like,
They
oh,
also
we,
have a NASCAR
well,
driver.
they're like, we'll waive your,
Yeah, they sponsor a NASCAR.
we'll waive your $50
Oh,
fee.
Wait, hold on.
sponsor the driver of the car is Liberty alumni, and they sponsor his car, and they have Liberty University stuff all over.
Oh, I thought you meant.
Because they're like, we'll waive your
thought
fee.
you meant they-
Mutual or anything.
I thought you meant
Liberty,
like, it's
Liberty,
it's like
Liberty.
you get
No.
to go
Well,
to a class of driving.
Hey, maybe
NASCAR.
they have a driving
wish.
program. I don't know.
Yeah, they left me a voicemail like, yeah, we'll waive your $50 fee. I'm like, dude, maybe I should just apply and just see what happens. Like, I don't know.
You could. What would you for the aviation program?
Maybe. Honestly, that'd probably be the most interesting like thing I find interest in. But I don't know.
They have tons of programs.
Yeah, that's what my mom was saying. I was really talking to her today.
Real. Yeah, there's so many options, but I already knew what it was. Anyways, I was already knowing what I was going in for. I was
Yeah.
already going in with a purpose, so I didn't really take much time to look at any other options there. But like, I was just like, Emma's doing this. She's enjoying it.
Oh.
It'll, even if I don't use a degree in theology, the things that I learn through my theology program will have already like helped me be ready for my life as a Christian, right? It's not just like I want to be in ministry and use it for like what's happening? What's so funny, buddy?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyways, it's not just like I want this to be how I, use my life. I want to spend all those hours that I would be spending at work to glorify God through ministry. But even if I don't end up doing that, 6. Even if I don't end up doing that, I still will have learned a lot of good things.
It got pitch black at 5. It got pitch black before 5, bro.
It was daylight savings this morning,
I
which means
know.
it gets darker an hour sooner now, which
I
sucks.
drive home in the...
Oh, I was already driving home in the dark, but now I'll.
Did you have home in the dark today?
Yeah, for real.
No, but you know what I mean.
Bro's about to hop in his car and do a lap around the block.
All right. I guess since we're getting close to the end of the episode, I want to ask, as people who have all gotten a lot of advice from people who are graduated, and we are recent graduates, so we've gotten a lot of advice at least too. What do you think has been the biggest piece of advice that you have been going into these past few months with, that like you heard from either a parent or from a friend or a any person in your life? I can go first if you guys need time to think too.
I think one of the. This isn't really from any specific person, but I think it's just from a multitude of people. Is, don't rush it. I think that's one of the biggest things, because, you get into the mindset of, oh, I need to do this, and get it.
Yeah.
Like, we literally
Yeah.
just talked about it.
Yeah.
But also, is just, don't rush it. You still have plenty of time. Doesn't mean that you get to sit around and do nothing. But don't feel like you're in a rush when you are doing things. Like, when you are doing things, you are doing something. Don't worry about doing a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And don't overwork yourself.
Yeah.
I think is one of the biggest general advices I think I've heard a lot.
Yeah, the biggest thing that always has been sticking with me has been, I don't remember who exactly told it, but I know Tabby told me it a lot, was that, I am a 1-year-old adult, right?
Yeah.
If you're saying you turn 18, you become an adult, I've been an adult for 1 year.
Right.
That's not a lot of time to learn things, right? Even when you're, smart enough to grow faster than, children do.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I'm still a 1-year-old adult.
Right.
And I'm going to make 1-year-old adult problems and make solutions and make mistakes. It's okay to make those mistakes. It's just like, have patience with myself. When I do make a mistake, when I do slip up and fail, it's okay, because this is not going to be like, this is not the top of the tower for me here. I can keep going up higher. I can
Right.
keep climbing the mountain, and it's I only have more things to learn, in being an adult now.
And I think one of the biggest things that we get overwhelmed with the mountain of climbing. We're like,
We think we have to do it in a day.
Yeah. And then you think you have to do it in a day, and then you're like, man, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's, as my mom and dad, they always say, how do you eat an elephant?
One piece at a time. One bite at a time.
Yes,
whatever.
one bite at a time.
Close enough.
And that could take weeks. I mean, that's an elephant, but that's just a metaphor.
Yeah.
But that could be applied to our life right now, is one bite at a time.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like with taking your first steps as a 1-year-old adult, one step at a time.
Right.
It's not, all right, now go run.
Yeah.
It's not like, all right, you're putting the Olympics to go run the 100-meter dash. No, it's you're a literal baby learning, baby.
Still figuring it out.
Yes.
I voted for the first time this year.
Yeah, same.
I got a lot more to learn. Just about being human.
What do you mean a lot more?
I'm just saying that, like, when it's the first time I ever voted.
Oh.
My parents have spent their whole lives. They probably hardly remember the first time they ever
Right.
voted, right? I probably not gonna remember the first time I voted, but that's just one part of being an adult that I've never experienced before. But now I have, so I learned a new experience, and I have added that to the collection of things that has been growing me into a not 1-year-old adult. would eventually a 2-year-old adult or a 3-year-old adult. You know. Sorry, I didn't mean to like put the pressure on you so suddenly.
Oh no, you're fine. One thing, I mean, it's kind of what the book has said, but also I remember Stanley saying it is just like, I mean, really just go do something. Even if it's not the right thing. I mean, we've been talking about this entire time.
Right.
Doing something might not be, it probably won't be, but it's gonna lead to other things like afterwards.
Mhm.
So that's kind of thing. I know Stanley said to me, I think when we did the podcast and just even before, like when we were in high school, I'm like, it kind of stuck with me.
Don't
Yeah.
stay stagnant.
As long as you keep moving and
'Cause then you
know when to
become still
redirect,
water.
you'll continue getting closer to your goal. You know,
Yeah.
it's like desert bus. You just keep
This
going.
is totally off topic, but what is the deal with the whole still water thing? Like, have you seen those?
Brain-eating amoebas live in that water, bro.
I know.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I know that, but why are people like, oh, it's still water? Like, I don't understand the whole.
Do you want
urban
brain-eating amoeba?
No.
I think it's
But-
it has gases trapped in it, so if you
Yeah.
disturb the water, it releases gases that can poison you.
Yes, but it's still like,
It's just
like
water.
no, but they'll say
It's
it's.
such a random topic.
I know, but they'll say like a guy will literally have like a glass of water and just like, oh, it's still water. Like, that's the part.
They're just making it more dramatic.
Yeah.
For the funny.
Yeah.
For the funny.
Should probably
What
clip
about
that
you?
out,
Do you
but-
have any? What was your biggest piece of advice, or like one that at least stuck with you?
It kind of goes along with Michael. They quoted the life comes at you fast, but if you don't slow it down, like take a second and take it all in. I don't remember how it goes, but it's like
You're
that
gonna miss
quote.
it.
You're gonna miss it. Yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna miss it. You're not gonna enjoy it. That was one that really like, because honestly, when I started like going to work, I was like, I need to like rise in the ranks. I didn't work at Chick-fil-A first. I worked at a discount tire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that sucked.
That's something else on fun.
So like, mainly because I got like my own physical problems, like doing all that was like really bad. But like,
Yeah.
when I told the boss I'm leaving because I just can't physically do it anymore, he tried to like bribe me to stay. Almost, he's like, I'll give you a pay raise, and I was like, nah, I'm still leaving.
Heck yeah.
He's like, Chick-fil-A, there's not enough opportunity to go up higher. And I'm like, I know people who are making more
Oh,
than
so-
they've been there less than someone's making
Yeah.
in here. And he's like, okay, fine. I guess since you're going to go, I'll give you 10 hours of overtime this week, maximum work you, and I'll keep you on the payroll for like 3 more months, just in case you want to come back, you know? I'm like, thank you, sir, but appreciate the overtime, but I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
It's not an option.
Yeah, taking it slow, or no, not taking it slow, but taking the time to appreciate the day to day. You know, like I don't know if it's in John or not, but it's somewhere in the Gospels where, you know, each day has its own worries. You know, just deal with one day at a time. You know,
Yeah.
You can't deal with a whole week, let alone a whole month, let alone a whole year. You know, just take it one day at a time and just do what you can with that one day and make it count. You know, as long as my general thing is, as long as I've done one thing today that is worth doing, I'm happy with the day I've had. You know, if I've done something productive and I have improved upon myself or my life or my whatever in some way, it wasn't a wasted day.
Mm-hmm.
And even days that are taken to rest are still good days. It's just as long as I don't, if it's a rest
he's
taken
looking
in
for
vain, it's
scripture.
bad.
No, it was a scripture I found that I just want to end it with that I found a couple days ago, and I was like, that's really encouraging.
You want to end us off with it?
Yes.
Actually,
That's
yeah. Any other things we want to say before we
I'd say
call
to
it?
just go back to the last question, like to solidify it, there's no right path.
Yeah.
It's all what you want to do. Like, I knew in high school I was never going to go to college. It was never my thing. And this man was doing college in high school. Like,
It's a choose
I'm
your
a
own
tryhard.
adventure book.
it really, it's a
Except,
choose your own
except
adventure.
there's no wrong answers.
Exactly. It's just one that keeps giving, a gift that keeps giving, for real.
when you look at the diversity of humans and like the differences in each person, the same is true about people who might look the same. Everyone has diversity in their story. You know, God has made a different person. There's no any two people who are going to have the same type of life or the same experiences. You know, so don't expect your life to look the same as anyone else's, and appreciate the advice that you get from people who give it to you, but don't assume that the advice applies the exact way they tell you or according to the exact experience they've had. You have to take that advice and kind of mold it and apply it to your own life.
And take it, like, with a grain of salt, pretty much. Like, just,
Yeah.
like, it may not be perfect for you, but there's something in there that can help you to it.
Not all advice is perfect advice. We're gonna like fix your exact problem you're dealing with, but all advice is good advice as long as you learn from it. If you glean anything from it, it'll be good. So,
All right, you guys want to hear it? Okay,
yeah,
so
end us off.
Philippians 4, 6 through 7. Don't worry about anything. Instead, wait. Run it back. No. I got this. I got this. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus.
Bars.
That was Philippians
4, 6 through 7. 6 or 7.
chapter 4, verses 6 through 7. Okay.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you to our guests for coming on.
Thank you for having
This is
me.
really fun. This is one of the most interesting to me because I don't know high school.
Right. he's out here learning.
I haven't like learned this much from a podcast.
I think this is the most talking that we've.
I did not talk
I
that
had
much.
I didn't have very little to say here.
I did not talk them. I was going to say something and then...
way more than
You
you have in the
talked way
past,
more
though.
than
No,
any
no, I
other
didn't.
podcast. Yes,
No,
you
I
did.
didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Definitely more than.
I was going to say
those.
something and then we switched topics. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to bring it back.
Yeah.
Still, you did very
I mean,
good.
I brought it back. I was like, we're gonna hop back to that one. I had something. To say.
So thank all of you for giving your.
I mean, thank you guys for having me. This was weeks in the making.
Yeah,
Trying
it
to
took
work
way
around
longer.
our schedules.
Yeah, apologies for the
We had no-
long hiatus.
we had no
that
October
accidentally happened.
episode, but-
Consistency in posting. It's hard to.
You know,
They'll figure it out.
we're all in different parts of life.
Ooh, I should make
Life
a
is
Crossroads
special.
Instagram.
What now?
Probably should, yeah.
Yeah,
Crossroads
Crossroads.
Instagram.
We should do our clips on there because I feel like reels.
Reels go crazy.
Oh god.
Reels do go hard.
Oh, then we'd have Instagram comments. Oh Lord.
It's okay. I'll go trash them on the comments.
Turn
I'll be
comments
the
off.
protector.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We
Thanks for
appreciate
watching.
it. Stay in God's word. Be kind to each other as we enter this holiday season.
And
a lot more patience is needed around this time of year. So
we hope you have a good rest of your day and night.
Yeah.
Depends on
wherever you are.
where you are.
Hope it's a good one.
Merry Christmas, maybe.
It's a bit early.
Whenever you're
Yeah.
watching this.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, by the time I edit it, it might just be Christmas.
Yeah,
But-
for
and
real.
also, just to
Maybe
leave
Thanksgiving.
you guys
Maybe
with a
Thanksgiving.
Pretty basic question, but when do you guys think Christmas, or when do you think it's appropriate to start Christmas music, or just Christmas in general?
I think we need to answer this real quick.
No,
No, I need to answer this. Not till after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Put it in the comments. We
The
can
day
start a
after
debate about
Thanksgiving?
this.
Go ham.
Real.
The temptation to listen to Christmas music is really strong right now.
It is.
It is very strong.
But I'm not going to do it. I don't fall into temptation.
Exactly.
I've already fallen into that temptation.
So we literally listened to Last Christmas earlier today. So.
Yeah, but
No.
it's
Anyways,
a banger, though.
it was a banger. Well, have a good one, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Peace. Peace out, guys.